How did music find me? Oh, that's interesting. I really like that question.
Charlie drank it till his eyes.
Well, I think when I was very, very young, there was a lot of kind of jazz music playing in the house. And I think that kind of infiltrated my subconscious, as it were, when I was very young, because it just kind of was the soundtrack to my whole existence. Like there was always kind of radio playing in the house. And I think then, my uncle gave me his vinyl collection. So I think like it came through my family, even though none of my family made music. They were just kind of music lovers. I think as I got older, it just almost became my refuge. Like I was always the one actively kind of searching for new music, searching to unearth something that moved me in a certain way. I did some like piano lessons when I was younger, and then I decided I wanted to pick up the guitar when I was maybe like 13 or 14. And then I just started kind of making beats on GarageBand and like just kind of teaching myself a few chords, and then that just evolved into making fully fledged songs and stuff. The thing is, I did lessons in both piano and guitar, but I stopped very quickly because they were like, maybe you should do these grades or like do this classical thing, and I was like, I'm not really sure about that. That was not really my thing. And then I just, on YouTube and stuff, there are plenty of videos where you can learn stuff, and just by playing along to songs that I liked and stuff, that kind of got me places more than lessons ever could have, I think. But yeah, definitely my dad's jazz kind of kick-started the journey, I would say. Sometimes I'll write in the room, but it all kind of comes from poetry for me, and that's a really personal thing that I usually just do by myself. When I write a song, usually I'll write for like 5 minutes, just like a stream of consciousness thing, and then I'll pick out some images that I like, and then kind of mold that into a poem and mold the poem into the lyrics, so it kind of is like quite a fluid process. I mean, I think it's very good for like delving into the subconscious, and kind of when you're writing continuously, you have no time to overthink things, so it's always very raw. And I think it provides a good raw material for a song. I think it's going to be, the art that comes out of this period is going to be very interesting. I definitely think there's going to be an introspective kind of tint to it, I would say. Because it's strange, like I don't think I've ever experienced a time when there is this kind of sense of like something so universal, like everyone in the world is in their houses, you know what I mean? I don't think that's ever happened. For me, actually, I did have a kind of burst of creativity in the beginning, just because like everything did seem to be spiraling and there was so much chaos, that I felt like the only thing that I could be sure of was the fact that I could write and make music. And that's something that I think I clung on to in that time of like uncertainty. And I was like reading through old journals and just taking it as a time to reflect. And yeah, so I feel grateful actually that I was able to be creative, because a lot of my friends weren't able to do the same. I've been trying to kind of practice gratitude, like gratitude for my health and for the fact that I can work from home, and for, I've just learned to appreciate little things. I remember when we were only allowed out once a day, and I would just kind of go for walks, and I would like look at the flowers, and I'd properly like look at the sky and look at things, and just enjoy everything a little bit more, which sounds strange, but yeah. I've been trying to write almost every day, and I've also just been really interested in the idea of like writing for the sake of it, just like writing a song and putting it in my voice notes and letting it sit there, just like not sharing it with anyone. The idea that like not all art has to be useful, you can just make things for the sake of it, has been something I've been connecting to. With everything that's happened in terms of like the Black Lives Matter movement being at the forefront of people's minds, it's been strange to kind of have, not strange, like it's been an amazing thing to have a platform, but I've had to really kind of consider what I'm going to say and what kind of causes I'm going to champion and stuff. By like guiding my listeners and my fans to certain organizations and charities, Black Minds Matter and that kind of thing, and by kind of trying to share resources with people and lead by example in terms of, like donating and championing Black artistry and stuff, that form of activism kind of strikes me as a positive one, and I try and kind of encourage a safe space for discussion within my fan base, I would say. I recently was made ambassador for this charity called Calm, which is like a kind of mental health charity, and I feel like things like that have just made me feel like I'm really helping people, if that makes sense. Like playing shows and seeing the people in the crowd, I can tell that I'm moving people in some way, but being part of something like that made me feel like I was properly able to make a difference. And I feel like opening up conversations about things like mental health is so important, and making people feel less alone is kind of part of why I make music, I would say. I think I'm fortunate just because like I feel like the image that I present to the world, as it were, is just kind of like how I am. Like I didn't really spend time kind of trying to craft a personality, as it were. I think my music kind of just lends itself to like honesty and transparency. So I'm just kind of like, this is me.
Charlie drank it till his eyes burned and forgot to eat his lunch. Pain was built into his body, heart so soft it hurt to beat. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely to feel something for once? Yeah, wouldn't it be lovely to feel worth something, huh? I know you can't let go of anything at the moment. Just know it won't hurt so. Won't hurt so much forever. It won't hurt so much. Won't hurt so much forever. It won't hurt so much. Won't hurt so much. Charlie melting to his mattress, watching Twin Peaks on his ones. Then his fingers find the bottle when he starts to miss his mum. Wouldn't it be lovely to feel something for once? Yeah, wouldn't it be lovely to feel worth something, huh? I know you can't let go of anything at the moment. Just know it won't hurt so. Won't hurt so much forever. It won't hurt so much. Won't hurt so much forever. It won't hurt so much. Won't hurt so much. Charlie started seeing stars, so stuck on the new J-pole. Said my clothes are sticking to me and I can't quite see my walls. Started dreaming of a house with red carnations by the windows, where he didn't feel so small, so overwhelmed by all his flaws. I know you can't let go of anything at the moment. Just know it won't hurt so. Won't hurt so much forever. It won't hurt so much. Won't hurt so much forever. It won't hurt so much. Won't hurt so much forever. I know you can't let go of anything at the moment. Just know it won't hurt so. Won't hurt so much forever. It won't hurt so much. Won't hurt so much forever. It won't hurt so much. Won't hurt so much. I know you can't let go of anything at the moment. Just know it won't hurt so. Won't hurt so much forever. It won't hurt so much. Won't hurt so much forever. It won't hurt so much. Won't hurt so much.
LaunchLeft aims to create an intentional space that highlights and empowers all artists for whom radical creativity is not a choice, but a necessity. LaunchLeft begins with music, but its ultimate aim is to launch left-of-center artists in all creative fields.